Thank you so much for the nice introduction. A very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sumita Sen. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Horticulture and Crop Science at the Ohio State University. So today, I want to ask a very simple yet urgent question. Will you leave your field barren? Because the choice whether you are going to leave your soil barren or you are going to cover it is going to have a significant impact on drought resilience, soil moisture, and overall crop yield. Now let's talk about the problem. Where is the problem? Bare soil is equivalent to vulnerable soil. Why I'm saying that? When we leave our soil uncovered between growing seasons, the soil is exposed to rainfall, wind erosion, temperature extremes, and moisture loss. And that affects our crop yield, and our farmers face a huge loss. Nationally, as you can see from this graph, almost 50% of agricultural area is under drought. Almost 50% is under drought. So what farmers can do to save themselves and also to secure food production. So today I will talk about two studies we did. First part we did in 2024 and 2025. It was about finding the crop production impact by various crop management factors. One of those were cover crop. So in 2024, the study was conducted in Northwest Ohio, in Perrysburg specifically. And from this graph, you can see the weather was pretty hard for corn growers, specifically even for soybean also. And we know that in Midwest, in Ohio, corn, soybean, they play a very big role in farmers' agricultural activities. So in this graph, you can see during corn growing period, precipitation was really low. That means we had dry growing period. Soil wetness was low. And same in 2025, I would say the weather improved a little bit, but then it was not up to satisfactory level. So how that affected corn and soybean production? Okay. I'm sorry for the title is a little bit gone here. So in 2024, 2025, weather played a very big role in corn production. In 24, you can see 127.3 bushels per acre yield we obtained. In 25, the yield improved. It was 157.4 bushels per acre, yet that is much lower than national average. In 2025, you can see cover crop didn't play a big role. In fact, no cover crop had significant effect. And when we talk about effect of cover crop on crop yield, that is different from soil health, because it takes a lot of time to for cover crop to give positive impact on crop yield. Specifically, we used cereal rye in our study. It takes a lot of time to show the positive impact on crop yield. Soybean, same here. You can see the yield was consistent. In 2024 and 2025, we had around 36 bushels per acre yield in Northwest Ohio, which is again much lower than national average of around 53 bushels per acre. And cover crop here for soybean, so we saw even no cover crop and yes cover crop, both had same effect. So recently, I, along with some other fellow students, we published a student article in CSA News It was about diversified and environment-based crop rotation. So we proposed microclimate-based cropping for such a scenario where climate plays a big role in crop production. What is microclimate-based cropping system? When we talk about cover cropping, for example, cereal rye, that cereal rye cannot be grown in every place. Similarly, if we talk about winter wheat, it cannot be grown in every place. So we have to choose cover crop based on the local condition, based on local soil terrain, soil temperature, and climatic conditions. So like in Midwest, winter is pretty severe, and farmers grow crops between summer to fall. They grow corn or soybean. So we have only winter time for cover cropping. So the cover crop which can survive during this harsh winter is mostly cereal rye. To some extent, we can grow clover. We can grow a little bit annual rye. And like that, we have proposed we can grow like, for example, in Northwest and Pacific Northwest, where the area is semi-arid or coastal climate, we can grow radish, mustard, where the root system of cover crop is strong and they can help with less soil erosion. Now, if we talk about the cover crop trend, you can see from 2012 to 2022, we have seen positive impact of cover crop. So the average from 10, so it increased from around double from 2012 to 2022. But still, we are not happy with the progress of cover crop area coverage, because if we talk about only in Ohio, about 3.3% of total cultivated area is under cover crop. So there is huge scope to bring more agricultural area under cover crop cultivation. Now, in 2026, we started another experiment on cover crop. We have Wood County, Wayne County, and Muskingum County, where we are growing different types of cover crops to see how it's affecting soil moisture and other soil health parameters. In Wood County, we have no cover crop versus cereal rye as cover crop. In Muskingum County, we are growing cereal rye, hairy wheat, and mix of different cover crops. In Worcester, a research field that is very much focused on this is a scientific study we are doing in Worcester research field. In Wood and Muskingum, that's on-farm trial. So what we have found in Worcester research field is no cover crop has high volumetric soil moisture compared to other treatments. And second was rye plus clover. So here, I want to say that when we went to the field, cereal rye was humongous. They were growing so big, they were covering almost all the plots wherever we planted rye. Compared to kale and clover and kale, they were almost invisible. So that affected soil moisture. So when we covered the soil fully, it reduces evapotranspiration, like soil moisture loss, and it acts as mulch, and that increases soil moisture content. And similarly, when we measured soil temperature in Worcester research field, we found that rye had very low soil moisture, and clover field had very high soil temperature. And the reason is clover was almost invisible in all the plots. The growth was very low, and rye, it covered almost all the plots wherever we had grown cereal rye. And Muskingum County, that is one of our on-farm trials, we saw that mix plots where we had grown hairy wedge, balsam clover, and cereal rye. These plots had very high soil moisture compared to hairy wedge and cereal rye as single species. Similarly, in soil temperature, hairy wedge had very low, comparatively low soil temperature, and cereal rye had high soil temperature. We measured both volumetric and gravimetric soil moisture. In Wood County, when we measured gravimetric soil moisture, surprisingly, cover crop and no cover crop both had similar soil moisture. There was not much difference. Because the farmer, he had grown soybean, wheat, and corn in the past several years, and crop residue, it just piled up in the plots. So when we went to the field, no cover crop plot had too much of crop residue already. And that saved a lot of soil moisture. And so due to shortage of time, I'm not going to elaborate what we have found in soil aggregate stability, but here you can see this picture with cover crop had so much of soil roots in that soil. So the aggregate stability, we have found that in cover crop, soil aggregate stability is much higher than no cover crop soil. So in Ohio State University, we have Dunker method, we have rainfall simulator method, but I'm particularly interested in measuring soil aggregate stability using SLAGS. That's an app. It's developed, I'm not sure, probably is developed by one Australian institute, but then Soil Health Institute, they modified it. And I feel if we can find good results, we can recommend this to our farmers as well, because it takes very less time to measure soil aggregate stability using SLAGS app. So what we have found from our studies is cover crops, they help conserve soil moisture, regulate soil temperature, and holds soil particles together. That means they improve soil aggregate stability. And our on-farm research, Muskingum and Wood County trials, they are providing real farming conditions, and we are validating those data with our Worcester research farm. And as I've said, like only 3.3% of Ohio is under cover crop. There are more opportunities to expand areas under cover crop. Thank you so much for your attention.
We have time for a question. Good. Jonathan?
Just could you go back to the one result where you're comparing the soil moisture and soil temperature for the hairy vetch? It seemed like it had lower soil moisture and the lower soil temperature. That seems to be in conflict to what we might expect.
Yes. So we are actually, so this study is a long-term study, and this soil temperature and moisture is from pre-termination timing, and then every week we are taking moisture and temperature and EC as well. I'm not showing here. So we are analyzing those parameters. So until and unless we analyze all the data, like, the trend, we can't give conclusion here. This is only one timing. Probably when we analyze all the timings, like 1 week, 2 weeks, we'll get more idea like what's happening.